Jimmy, we're 2 games in, 2 games against 2 of the fancied teams, and we've come away with 2 draws. Thoughts?
Unbeaten, which is a good positive. Seen enough in both games to think we've applied ourselves quite well to start with. Still a long way to go. We've got certain things to work on, and it's disappointing with the 2 late goals we've conceded, because it would have been a maximum of 6 points if we could have seen it out. But like you say, against 2 very good sides, we're in the early sort of stages of trying to implement what we want to try and put across to the boys, and I thought tonight was another step in the right direction for us. I thought it was excellent, especially first half. They had a few opportunities second half, but we weathered most of it, and it was just unfortunate that we let that last goal in.
Quality wise, I thought tonight was excellent. We had pace up front, Cameron looks good, working with Connor at the back. We look more solid, and really it's the same nucleus as the squad that we had last season who didn't perform so well. So what's making the difference?
I don't know. I think the same nucleus, but we've added the experience. I thought Tom Hamlin at centre half tonight was absolutely outstanding. He never missed a header all game, and that's going to settle Luke. And I knew bringing a player like him would give Luke and Rom some real good settlement. They'll settle at the side of him, and he'll be able to sort of coach him through the game almost, because they're both young boys. He's been around the block, Tom. He played at a good level, and you can see what he brings to us. His great leadership, wins his headers, no nonsense, and drives us on. Corkers, again, likewise, I thought Corkers were outstanding again. First half especially, spraying the ball around, getting us on the front foot and making us tick. So the sort of the spine of the team, as you speak about, and obviously with Cam up top and Connor, the 3 straight down the middle of the team have really strengthened us, and I think Connor and Cam can maybe get a good partnership, hopefully, and if we can try and find the right system of players in behind that, because he's a threat, as you saw tonight. He's a threat goal-wise, but he's also brilliant when he goes wide, and he put a great cross in for Connor, who it's an outstanding header, and I'm really pleased with Connor, because he's been feeling it a little bit, and the pressure builds when you don't score as a centre forward, but he brings so much more to the team as well. We just need to keep him fit, and hopefully he can find the goals for us.
So what can you do as a manager, as frustrating it is when we concede very late goals, I mean really late on Saturday in the last 5 minutes, what can you do about that?
You can't do a lot. I mean, the goal tonight, I don't want to sort of belittle the goal, but the guy looks like he's having a shot, and he stood on it accidentally, and it's rolled in front. It's sold everybody a dummy, and it's dropped two yards in front of him to just stand on a back stick. So there's a little bit of unfortunate there, and the problem I have is not the first one where he's sort of got lucky by standing on the ball and it's dropped into his path. It's the after, and the 5 who heads it in the goal is unmarked, and I think there's another lad unmarked as well, and it came from a long throw, and they peppered us with long throws tonight. It's a bit similar to what we try and do to other teams. So I definitely think they would have been marked from the original throw-in. The ball's broke, we've gone to sleep, haven't took responsibility, and they've scored sort of late at the death again, and that's the disappointing thing. And I can't coach that. You can't coach someone to be alert and to be aware all the time. You can try and implement it and try and ask players to stay alive, but you're getting into the 88, 89th minute, players are tired, and things like that happen, and mistakes. But hopefully not too many more, and we can come away with a victory maybe on Saturday.
And what are you expecting from Wimborne on Saturday as opponents?
I don't know a lot. I mean, I know they lost their main striker last season, who scored 30 odd goals, Tobias Holmes. So he's not going to be there, but they'll be a decent side. There's no rubbish teams in this league. Everybody will be in and around, and it's going to be sort of 10 games in when we really see it settle and see who's going to be sort of in and around, who I think in and around the top and in and around the playoffs. We need to stay in the pack. We are not a young side, but we're an emerging side, and we try and bed the boys in, try and get our system up and running, and we need to take maximum points in some games, and I think we can be a threat this season. Albeit I think we're a little bit handicapped with the budget we've got, and you see we've got a strong 11, 12, and then after that we've got some youngsters in and around it, and I'm thinking, well, no disrespect to them, but I can't really keep just throwing them in like young Ash on Saturday who came in. I need to try and get some backup players as well. I don't want the squad to get too stretched. So we've got Romario to come back, we've got Ram Marwa to come back. Will be great for us and be good additions to the squad. But there'll be some players in and around that come available in the next couple of weeks, and if we can pick up a bit more quality, then I think that's what we need to do. And I'll have to speak to the chairman, we'll have to speak to the supporters, and we'll have to beg and borrow, and maybe try and bump it up a little bit. But I think yourselves and the fans can be quite pleased with the start we've had, but it's just 2 points on the board at the end of the day. It should have been 6 in my opinion. It's not we lick our wounds and we come down, and if we get the 3 points on Saturday, 5 points from our first 3 games, that won't be a bad return.
Lovely.